So the stage is set now for the Prime Minister to speak on the no-confidence motion brought against his government. After some top ministers and today the Home Minister, all eyes will be on Narendra Modi on how he takes on the India bloc on this motion, especially because the opposition has not left it to imagination that the entire exercise was to bring the Prime Minister to Parliament and force his response, especially on Manipur. Interestingly, back in 2018, 1 year ahead of the 2019 general elections, when the then Modi government faced a no-trust motion, Prime Minister had then predicted that he will face another one a year ahead of 2024 elections. And that's exactly what has happened. Before I go across to my colleagues tracking this debate, let's listen into what he had said.
वो शुभकामनाएं मैं आज फिर देना चाहता हूं कि आप इतनी तैयारी करो कि 2023 में फिर से आपको अविश्वास प्रस्ताव लाने का मौका मिले और ये समर्पण भाव है, अहंकार का परिणाम है 400 से 40 हो गए, अहंकार का परिणाम है 400 से 40 हो गए और सेवा भाव का परिणाम है कि 2 से यहां आकर के बैठ गए, 2 से निकल करके आके बैठ गए। आप कहां से कहां पहुंच गए? अरे मिलावटी दुनिया में जीना पड़ रहा है, आप कोई लंबी बात करोगे तो शोभा नहीं देगी। वो शुभकामनाएं मैं आज फिर देना चाहता हूं कि आप इतनी तैयारी करो कि 2023 में फिर से आपको अविश्वास प्रस्ताव लाने का मौका मिले और ये समर्पण भाव है, अहंकार का परिणाम है 400 से 40 हो गए, अहंकार का परिणाम है 4।
So that was the Prime Minister in 2018. I'm joined by my colleagues who've all been tracking various facets of this debate. Payal Mehta, Pallavi Ghosh, Arunima and Aman Sharma. Aman, first of all, happy birthday to you. And you actually met the Prime Minister today. I saw your picture on social media as well. Let me begin with you. The Prime Minister obviously is known for his oration. He's a master orator. In fact, one of the BJP MPs had already said that every time he gets up and speaks, he shreds the Congress, puts it through a shredder. Could we have something like that tomorrow?
Well, I think the speech by the Prime Minister tomorrow will be more like the 2018 speech, laying out his governance agenda ahead of the 2024 elections. It will be more like setting the agenda for the Lok Sabha elections, what all his government has done. I think the Prime Minister's view on 2024 and this whole India alliance is pretty clear. Number one, that this is a Prime Minister who doesn't have a single allegation of corruption against his government in the last 9 years. Second, that this is a Prime Minister who has worked in national interest, who has even gone to the extent of doing surgical strikes on Pakistan when it was national interest was involved. And third, I think, is the promise of a stable and a strong government. I think the government, the PM may make that point. We don't know what PM will speak tomorrow, but I suppose that PM will make that point. He's made it in earlier speeches also.
Yes.
That please don't go in for a coalition unstable government. This country has moved ahead of that era of the various decades that we've seen coalition unstable governments. Vote for a strong government, and people of the country have also voted for strong governments of Mr. Narendra Modi, and that is what I think the 3-point agenda of the PM could reflect in his speech tomorrow, that there is no corruption allegation against my government. We have had a strong governance record, a strong public welfare record, a government which works in national interest for security, put security paramount, and of course the point that we are offering a stable, strong, and the numbers could, as we are seeing, could rise to 366, 365. That kind of a strong government is being offered by Mr. Narendra Modi.
Arunima, the government has also, or the BJP has also been making another 3 points on that Quit India campaign that they've started, incidentally, during this session as well. Dynasty, corruption, and of course, progress and commitment. Appeasement of minorities. These are the 3 fundamental issues they feel that should be thrown out of India as part of this Quit India movement, and this could be a platform to reiterate those issues as well.
Yes, I think the agenda has already been set. I mean, Prime Minister said that in election rallies when the BJP parliamentary party meeting happened. He reiterated then also, and at the cluster meetings that are happening between the NDA leaders and the Prime Minister. This is the theme throughout. So it's very clear as to what the Prime Minister is going to say every time the opposition, which goes by the acronym India, stands up. Why did they want the Prime Minister to be in the House? Because they wanted to discuss Manipur. If you saw the Home Minister's speech, all the questions that had been put forward, including once by Gaurav Gogoi, Home Minister has answered them, and it was not a very aggressive Home Minister. He was dealing with a lot of empathy when he was talking about what's happening in Manipur. The key question that the opposition had, why have you not sacked N. Biren Singh? That answer has also come forth, that we didn't need to sack him because he was cooperating. Whatever changes we wanted to make to the administration, the Chief Secretary, the DGP, all of that has been made. So what is left for the Prime Minister then? What is left for the Prime Minister is to show what the Home Minister touched upon, that the history of Northeast, of ethnic conflict is from the era of Rajiv Gandhi, is from the era of... Yes. So what is happening now? The problem now is a legacy issue. And I think on that point, he would take Congress to the shredders, like an opposition MP said. I will not be surprised if he also makes a mention of the alleged flying kiss. Because what did Rahul Gandhi say? That women in Manipur are unsafe. Aapne Bharat Mata ki hatya kar di hai. So that Mata connection, the women connection of a member of parliament who's being accused of being disrespectful towards women. Prime Minister could well touch upon that as well.
Yeah, that will be quite interesting to see, because I don't think the Home Minister quite touched on that today. Interestingly, Pinaki Mishra, the BJP MP who talked about how the Congress goes through the shredders every time the PM speaks, was supposed to join us. Because the session went a little bit longer, he couldn't. We'll try and get him when we get the opportunity. Pallavi, I'm coming to you. Because that notion has been put forth by a non-aligned party like the BJP, is the Congress, is there any thought within the Congress that, oh, why did we give the Prime Minister this stage to hammer us? Because he does hammer the Congress and the UPA era every time he speaks in Parliament. It becomes an occasion.
Well, I mean, I think the Congress wanted to put forward Rahul Gandhi because they thought that Rahul Gandhi could hammer the Prime Minister. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way. I think the confusion and will he not speak? I think that exposes and reveals the sense of confusion and contradiction within the Congress party and also the India front thing. Because, you know, just to get the backstory, his name topped the list. Last minute they scratch it. And I know this for a fact that Manish Tiwari was not supposed to speak yesterday, but suddenly he was called from court and come and speak. So I think the Congress party always underestimates the fact that, you know, they can never ever be so well prepared to take on the Prime Minister. They're actually giving on a platter, and I think the BJP is loving it, and the Prime Minister is of course going to seize this entire opportunity to hit back, not just at the Congress. We are thinking it's going to be an attack on Congress. No, it's going to be an attack also on the India front. And what is he going to try and tell his voters? See, when the Prime Minister is going to speak inside, he's not talking only about the political parties. It's more a speech meant for his voters, his constituency outside, and tell them, look, these people, they've all come together. And they've come together for two purposes. It's a coming together of people who each one of them are facing a corruption allegation. And second, मैं अकेले हूँ और सब ये सोच रहे हैं कि ये मुझ पे भारी पड़ेंगे. So it's me versus the rest. So many people need to come together to defeat one me. I think that's going to possibly be one of the pinnacles of his speech.
We've seen the Modi versus all battle and the narrative play out in 2019 as well. It was very much Payal, you know, pro-BJP. That narrative works for Narendra Modi. And now you track the BJP so closely. Is the BJP really relishing the no-confidence motion? उनको ऐसा लग रहा है कि अच्छा ही किया? No confidence motion.
So, but many of the opposition parties, especially friendly opposition parties, who don't come out and say, they will also tell you that this is a grandstanding. One of these opposition party leaders called me yesterday and said that this is like a grandstanding because Modi is going to butcher them. Practically, that's the kind of sentiment that really exists. He's not going to let go of this platform.
Yeah, Payal, unfortunately, there's some issue with your mic, but Aman, you want to carry forward on that? I mean, how is the BJP looking at this issue? Do they feel this is an opportunity? ये तो बैठे बैठाए opposition opportunity मिल गया, and I think Prime Minister was quoted as saying in the parliamentary meet कि last ball पे छक्का लगाने का मौका है.
See, this no confidence motion is something that the BJP also wanted to defeat it big time. So, you know, when we see tomorrow the numbers come out, and we've seen that in the Delhi bill also which came out, if the government wins with a number like 365, 366, it's a huge statement that, you know, in spite of the India alliance on the other side, you have BJP and Mr. Jagan's party on your side, and then you notch up such a huge number, which is almost 35-40 seats up from the last confidence motion. I think it will be a big sign, and the government is planning to give a big statement. PM will obviously speak and as Pallavi said, butcher the Congress and, you know, take on the whole India alliance. And changing the name, see, basically the BJP feel that changing the name doesn't change it.
Those ads are already out. Yes.
Very quickly, Shivani, just wanted to point out, you know, the Prime Minister is constantly saying that we have become number 5 in the economic rating and we'll make you number 3. He said that when the Bharat Mandapam was getting inaugurated. You could well see that economic pitch coming in, because in the mind of the BJP supporters, this is the constant question, खिचड़ी सरकार आएगी तो हमारा क्या होगा? So that difference between a खिचड़ी सरकार, an indecisive सरकार, and a one-man show show who has the capability of making you number 3 in the world economic rating.
Payal is back with us. Payal, continue.
Right, so the Prime Minister is going to use this opportunity to butcher the opposition. That's at least some opposition party.
We're using stronger and stronger words. From shred, we've come to butcher.
See, I mean, the way Mr. Prime Minister has spoken through these 9 cluster meetings have also been very, very similar. He's spoken about the India alliance. He said that I challenge each and every one of these MPs. If you ask them the full form of India, they'll not be able to explain it to you. So that's the kind of attack. He's called them Ghatiya Bandhan. He's called them Ghamandi Bandhan. He's called them all of that. So that's going to be that is going to get more and more aggressive as we build up tomorrow. I'm going to go quickly and grab that seat in the Lok Sabha gallery to be able to hear and to be able to witness what really happens there.
Absolutely. So
Lucky you.
Pallavi, tell me one thing. On the issue of Rahul Gandhi, like we were talking about the India alliance and the whole khichdi aspect of it. Has India moved ahead from coalition governments? Now that Rahul Gandhi is back as a parliamentarian, even if it's an interim order till the merits of the case are decided, is that creating some further issues within the India bloc? Because the prime face of Congress is eligible.
I think, Shivani, it's still a very honeymoon period as far as the India front is concerned. So they are they're happy to let Rahul Gandhi hog the limelight. I mean, I remember when he walked into Parliament. So you also had India front opposition leaders, having laddus with Mallikarjun Kharge and so on. The real challenge will begin later. That is when a ticket distribution begins. And I think parties which will really have a problem is the Trinamool Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party. I mean, look, a glimpse of that we got today when Mamata Banerjee in Kolkata said that, over at the national level we are all together, but at the state level the Congress is with the BJP. None of them will want to cede their grounds. And if you talk about Bengal, because I come from there and I know this for a fact that the only way the TMC can do well is if they relentlessly attack the Congress Party. I kind of feel sorry for Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary because the only way he can win and do well is if he keeps on attacking Mamata Banerjee. So just step away. Think of it from a point of view of a voter. He'll be thoroughly confused. Ki ye ho kya raha hai? They're all fighting with each other and expecting that.
But who is the prime ministerial candidate? That's the question.
So,
everyone
will say different things. You ask a TMC leader, they'll say it's Mamata Banerjee. You ask Congress, they'll of course say it's Rahul Gandhi.
And therefore,
this is when Kharge has said we don't want to have the top.
And so expect the Prime Minister to attack not just Rahul Gandhi but TMC, DMK,
all
BRS, all of them. Even Supriya Sule. I mean, she's been left alone in the house, but I expect attack from her also.
Said yesterday in the cluster meeting, he said the Congress party is so selfish that they've taken away the dreams of everybody else. He attacked the Congress party saying that they do not have Pranab Mukherjee or Sharad Pawar even become or even get their aspirations to become a Prime Minister.
So good semi-final for the 2024, right?
Yeah, and also the political buzz taking from Pallavi is saying that who will be the first opposition party to quit India. There's also bets around in the BJP camp.
It is, of course, we all know as journalists, an occupational hazard that we do not want to get into to try and predict what Narendra Modi does. So we weren't attempting that. We were just trying to bring our senses together of how it has been when the Prime Minister speaks in Parliament. It certainly, as I said earlier, becomes an occasion in itself. And has the opposition maybe committed a self-goal, as some suggested, by giving that opportunity to the Prime Minister like this? On that note, I have to take your leave. A big thanks to all of my colleagues for joining us.